Hey guys, I hope you're all well. In today's video, we will learn locative cases. Locative cases are English in, on, and at. Except we only have one suffix that covers them all. Let's begin. Let's look at this example. We see a bunch of children at school. The question is, where are the children? Çocuklar nerede? Çocuklar nerede? Çocuklar is children and nerede is where. Even though I said nerede, we tend to say nerede instead. So imagine that middle e don't exist when we speak. When we write, it is always nerede. It would be wrong to write nerede. But when we say it, it is okay. Çocuklar nerede? Çocuklar okulda. The children are at school. Çocuklar okulda. Okul is school. We added da and it gave the idea of at school. Another example. İstanbul nerede? İstanbul nerede? Where is Istanbul? Istanbul is in Turkey. Therefore, we will say İstanbul Türkiye'de. Türkiye'de. Because Turkey is a private name, we have an apostrophe there. But that's just because of that. Don't think about anything else. If it was an ordinary noun, then we would put right next to it, just like okulda example. İstanbul Türkiye'de. So this time we give the meaning of in Turkey or Türkiye. In Türkiye. Tencere nerede? Tencere nerede? Tencere is pot. So the question is, where is the pot? Tencere tezgahta. The pot is on the counter. Tencere tezgahta. This time we said on the counter. So we have also seen this function as well. Ahmet nerede? Ahmet nerede? Ahmet seems like from the image he is in a grocery store. Therefore, our answer will be Ahmet markette. Ahmet markette. Market is grocery store. When we say markette, it implies that in the grocery store. Now let's see the rule behind this. If you're familiar with the vowel harmony, to be able to understand da or de, you don't need to pay much effort. It is very simple. If the last vowel is a, I, o, or u, we will have da, just like okulda. In okul noun, the last vowel is u, that's why we used da. If the last vowel is e, I, ö, or ü, then we use de. Just like in Türkiye'de example. Türkiye, last vowel is e, that's why we put de. Türkiye'de. Now we are moving to tricky part. We need to look at last letter sometimes. If the last letter is either f, s, t, k, ç, ş, h, or p, and the last vowel is either a, I, o, u, then we need to use ta. In our example, the word we have was tezgah, which means counter. Tezgah, last letter is he, and last vowel is a. That's why we say tezgahta. Tezgahta. If the last vowel was e, I, ö, or ü, then the suffix we will need would be te. Just like in the markette example. Market, the last letter is T, the last vowel is E. That's why when we wanted to say in the grocery store or in grocery store, we say markette, markette. We will look both vowel harmony and this new rule in a second. So in terms of vowel harmony, we need to look at two categories, right? Because we either make a decision between da or ta, or de or te. At the end, the vowels are same, either a or e. That's why we need to look if the vowel we are dealing with is a back vowel or a front vowel. In Turkish, kalın or ince. If the last vowel is o, u, a, or I, as they are all kalın, back vowel, we need to use da or ta. If the last vowel is ö, ü, e, or I, we need to make a decision between de or te. To help you better memorize the letters that we need to be careful about, there is a trick. It is called fıstıkçı Şahap in Turkish. In English, it means Şahap, the pistachio seller. So fıstık is pistachio. When we say fıstıkçı, you don't need to learn this by heart, just for your memory. It means someone who sells pistachio. And Şahap is name of the person who sells it. So when you pay attention to all the consonants in this little phrase, they are all what we need. F, S, T, K, Ç, Ş, H, P. When the last letter is one of those, D will become T. Let's see examples. We see there is a child in the toilet, and the question is, where is the child, right? Çocuk nerede? Çocuk nerede? The child is in the toilet. We say tuvalet, tuvalet. So when we look at the word tuvalet, the noun ends with T. The last vowel is E. Remember the rule. Also at the top you can see the rule as well. We need T. Çocuk tuvalette. The child is in the toilet. Let's see another one. Elmalar nerede? Elmalar nerede? Where are the apples? Elma is apple. Lar is our plural. If you don't remember this or if you don't know this, please visit my plural video. Nerede is where. Therefore, the question is, where are the apples? The answer will be, the apples are on the tree. We know for in, on, and at, we can use the same suffix. We look at the word tree. It is ağaç, ağaç. Ağaç ends with ç, and the last vowel is a. That's why we say ağaçta instead of ağaçda. Last example, we have an ice cream in the cone. The question is, dondurma nerede? Dondurma is ice cream. So we are asking, where is the ice cream? The answer will be, the ice cream is in the cone. Cone is külah. We look at the word külah. The last letter is he. The last vowel is a. That's why, rather than da, we will use ta. I would like to show you some exceptions, not for the last rule we have looked at, but for the vowel harmony again. So let's look at the word kalp. Kalp ends with p, and the last vowel is a. But we don't pronounce it as a. We don't say kalp, but we say kalp. That's why, if it was a normal a, it would be ta, because the last letter is p. But because it's not a normal A, it is a softened A, we need T. So when we want to say in the heart, we will say kalpte, kalpte. Similarly, hayal, last vowel is A. Last letter is fine because it is neither F, S, T, K, Ç, Ş, H, nor P. That's why it is okay. Hayal, even though last vowel is A, we soften the A when we pronounce it. That's why we won't put da, but we will put de because it is softened. Golde, similarly, last vowel is O. There is no need to look at the last letter. It is none of the letters we need to be looking at. If it was gol, then because it is a back vowel, we need to put da, but because the way we pronounce it is not a regular O, it is not gol, but gol, that's why we will put de. So it will be golde. Next example, saat. Saat, the last letter here is T. It is one of those letters we need to be careful about. That's why we make a decision between ta or te, right? That's given. We can't put da or de because last letter is te. When I look at the last vowel, it is a. So it feels like we need to put ta. However, it is not saat, but it is saat. Saat. That's why it should be saatte. Saatte. Harf. Again, harf. The last letter is F. It is one of those brown letters in fıstıkçı şahap. That's why we are gonna make a decision between ta or te. Harf, because the last vowel is a, you think we might need to put ta. However, we don't pronounce it as harf, but we pronounce it as harf. Because it sounds softer, we will treat it as it is softer, as if it was front vowel, ince ünlü. That's why we will put T instead. Harf T. Harf T in the letter. Petrol. Petrol. Last vowel is O, but we don't pronounce it as petrol, but petrol instead. That's why rather than da, we will go for de. Terminal, rather than terminal, it is terminal. And we don't need to worry about fıstıkçı şahap here. That's why rather than terminal da, we will say terminalde. Terminalde. Seyahat. Seyahat, the last letter is T. That's why we're going to make a decision between ta or te. The last vowel is a. However, we will soften it in the way we pronounce it. That's why rather than ta, we will go for te and it will be seyahatte. And last but not least, alkol. It is not alcohol, but alkol. We soften the O. That's why we will treat it as a front vowel instead of a back vowel. We will treat it as ince ünlü rather than kalın ünlü, and it will become de. Alkol de instead of da. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit on the notification bell. De, da, ta, te will be in 2 videos, so please make sure you don't miss the next one. Thank you so much again, and I'll see you in the next video.